Pizza Studio Tamaki is undoubtedly the most hyped up pizzeria in New York City right now. The restaurant comes from the acclaimed Tokyo-based pizzaiolo Tsubasa Tamaki and is already earning rave reviews. Without question, I just had to find out if Pizza Studio Tamaki lived up to the hype. It's a pleasant day today here in New York City. Right now I'm at Tompkins Square Park in the East Village, which just happens to be steps away from the most hyped up pizzeria in the city right now. I am talking about Pizza Studio Tamaki, which is a Japanese-style pizza restaurant that hails from Tokyo. While Series may have been the most hyped up pizzeria of 2025, Pizza Studio Tamaki so far seems to be the most hyped up spot of 2026. From the moment that it was announced that Pizza Studio Tamaki was opening a permanent space in New York, I knew I had to visit. I unfortunately didn't have the time to go to the original restaurant when I was in Tokyo last year, but nevertheless, Japanese-style pizza is a very special thing. Like a lot of things in Japan, pizza is done at a very high level, and the flavor combinations you typically get are incredible. So when Pizza Studio Tamaki released their reservations, I pounced on it. I got a spot for like 3 weeks in advance of when I booked it, and the thing is, I kinda forgot about it. That week I was so busy with work, plus I was judging a chili competition, which was a lot of fun, and more importantly, I got to eat a lot of chili, and then I traveled to Boston. You see, my last day in Boston, I was literally having pizza for lunch, and as I was eating, I realized, don't I have that Pizza Studio Tamaki reservation coming up? Yes, I did. Now, I probably wouldn't have gotten pizza if I realized that sooner, but nevertheless, it was decent pizza, and I can always eat pizza. So the next day, I took the train back to New York and basically had just enough time to go back to my apartment, drop my stuff off, and then come back to Manhattan for my dinner at Pizza Studio Tamaki. And with that being said, this was my meal at Pizza Studio Tamaki. Pizza Studio Tamaki is located in the East Village on St. Mark's, right across from Tompkins Square Park. The pizzeria officially opened in May of 2026, but before that, there was a brief pop-up of the restaurant back in February. Originally, the location housed Moody Tongue Pizza, but when the opportunity to host such an acclaimed pizza maker like Tsubasa Tamaki comes along, you make adjustments. Tamaki made his reputation in Tokyo by opening his first pizzeria in 2017, which was a success. This in turn led to a small expansion with an additional location in Tokyo as well as spots abroad, which include cities like Bangkok and Singapore. Tamaki's New York location is his first in America, and I couldn't have been more excited. When I arrived to the restaurant, I noticed two separate lines, one for reservations and the other for walk-ins. While getting a reservation for two can be a challenge, I found that going solo opens up a lot more options, and that's how I got my res. Although the restaurant does seem to try their best to accommodate as many walk-ins as possible. After checking in, I was soon seated at the restaurant's square-shaped bar. Pizza Studio Tamaki isn't very large. There are some tables surrounding the bar and a few more in back near the pizza oven. For the most part, I thought that the restaurant had a decent look to it and atmosphere. Once I was settled, I began to explore the menu. Besides pizza, the restaurant offers a couple of salads and some Italian-inspired appetizers. Pizza, however, was of course what I, and probably what everyone else, was there for, and the selection was fantastic. The menu featured 10 pies, and each sounded incredible. Although I was not as enthused about the prices, Pizza Studio Tamaki is expensive. While the US is constantly getting more costly, PST is pretty expensive even for New York City. Then I checked out the beverage selection. There's a modest variety of wine, which I'm sure would go great with the pizza, but beer was what I was interested in. While Moody Tongue Pizza is no more, their beer selection remains, as the establishment was sort of an offshoot of the acclaimed Chicago-based Moody Tongue restaurant and brewery. The restaurant, which I would love to go to one day, was the world's first brewery to earn 2 Michelin stars. It certainly made me happy to see a bit of Chicago on the menu, and as a result, I ordered the rice lager. Now Now that was a fine and very drinkable beer that didn't hold back on flavor. It had a good body to it and is the type of beer that would pair well with most foods. As I was enjoying my beer, a man came to the bar with a tray of cups filled with a small portion of mushroom soup. It was something that was handed out to all customers, which I thought was a nice touch. The soup was rich, creamy, and had a strong umami and peppery flavor. Although I did think that it had a touch too much salt to it, I nevertheless still appreciated it. First up was my appetizer, which was the PST salad. The dish contained green leafy lettuce, bacon, grana padano, and PST dressing. It was a good-sized portion, and I was eager to give it a go. Overall, I thought that it was a pretty solid salad. The greens were crisp and fresh, and the hard cheese lent a nice umami richness to the course. There was a light application of dressing within the salad, which was pleasant, but I wouldn't have been opposed to a bit more dressing. Of course, the smoky bacon was delightful, but that's no surprise because it's bacon. To sum it up, I enjoyed that salad, but at the same time, I didn't think it was anything too special. After finishing, it was time for what I was truly at the restaurant for, the pizza. I decided to go with the Bismarck, which contained fresh mozzarella, mushrooms, sausage, pecorino romano, and an egg. Visually, the pizza looked fantastic, and I couldn't wait to dive right in. To put it simply, that pizza did not disappoint. It was incredible on every level, from texture to flavor. First off, the pizzas at PST are fashioned in a sort of Tokyo-style Neapolitan sort of way. Chef Tamaki, of course, puts his own spin on it. He utilizes a 30-hour fermented dough that's crafted with a Japanese and American flour blend. The pizza is then baked in a wood-burning oven that's sort of seasoned in a way with Japanese cedar shavings. The result is a pizza crust and base that is incredibly rich in flavor but texturally soft and pillowy. Although the crust at the same time does have a slight crisp to it as a result of the charring. My favorite aspect of that pizza, however, was the combination of toppings. All of the ingredients were of great quality and were properly cooked. The sausage was savory, tender, and nicely seasoned. The mushrooms and cheese imparted a strong umami kick that I loved. In the center of the pizza was the runny and silky egg yolk that, to put it simply, took the pie to another level. With all the elements combined, the dish was balanced and utterly delicious. Size-wise, the pizzas at PST measure to about 10 inches and are thus meant to be individual servings, which make their high price tag seem even more costly. However, I loved that pizza. For me, it was top tier, and out of 10, I would give it a 9.2. After finishing, it was time for dessert. Currently, the restaurant only seems to have a single offering in that category. The dish was vanilla ice cream that's topped with Okinawa sea salt and olive oil. That ice cream proved to be simple but delicious. The flavors were well balanced to that perfect mix of salty and sweet, and I liked what the olive oil contributed. Now, even though I enjoyed that ice cream, I wouldn't recommend it solely for its price tag of $14. To me, the dish is far too simplistic to command a price like that. Really, anyone could add salt and olive oil to a scoop of ice cream. As an alternative, there are plenty of ice cream and gelato shops within the neighborhood that I feel offer much better value. Overall, I had a great time at Pizza Studio Tamaki. While my salad and dessert were nothing to get too excited about, my pizza was truly special, which made the experience worth it. After finishing, it was time for the bill, which was tucked in a little notebook that was filled with messages from other diners. Unfortunately, it didn't come with a pen, so there was nothing I could contribute. When it came to the bill, it totaled to $82.73, but with my tip, I spent just under 98 bucks. So that pizza was incredible. I really enjoyed that pie. From the texture to the quality of ingredients to the flavor, everything about that pizza was on point. Without question, Pizza Studio Tamaki lived up to the hype. Although I wasn't that impressed with the salad and I thought the dessert was incredibly overpriced, but you go there for the pizza anyways. And there were so many pizzas that I would have loved to have tried. I probably should have just skipped the appetizer and dessert and just gotten 2 pizzas, but you know, whatever, no regrets. Although there's no question about it, Pizza Studio Tamaki is expensive. They are definitely one of the more costly pizzerias out there. Now, Series is technically still costlier than Pizza Studio Tamaki, but their pizzas are far larger. 2 people could easily enjoy a pizza from Series, whereas Pizza Studio Tamaki, they're more suited for individual servings. However, I enjoyed Pizza Studio Tamaki far more than Series. To sum it up, there's no shortage of great pizzerias in New York City, but I'll always welcome another one, especially one that stands out, and Pizza Studio Tamaki certainly stands out. In conclusion, I had some great pizza indeed, and I will certainly be returning to Pizza Studio Tamaki.